See, this is the kind of thing that you really want for the blog, I think, is stuff that you can grow really easily and seasonally. And the drink that you make with the vinegar is called a shrub. It's a colonial term, and I don't know, it used to be a gin drink and a non-alcoholic vinegar drink. It's really like a part of an elixir, and you can go either way. People would bring it out with them in these little horns that they would carry on their shoulders at the fields when they were working. And so if you're extremely thirsty, it's a good way to quench your thirst, really absorb the water better.
In horns, like that was their vessel, huh? On their shoulder? Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Tubes of vinegar water. Like A Little House on the Prairie, there's a little reference to it. I don't know, it's vivifying. You can drink it and you feel better. Yeah, so it was brought to colonial America and used like that, and in drinking houses or just regular everyday in cities, I think they had drinking vinegar, but on the farm you'd make drinking vinegars. That's about all I know about it. It makes perfect sense. And they got lost for the same reasons that so many of our ways of preserving food got lost. Is, you know, the mass production and preservation methods, how that sort of took over. And Pok Pok started marketing, producing theirs. It's kind of, high-end. They use coconut vinegar, which I just found out about. It's probably why people really love it, because it seems like a very neutral kind of, more, it'll let the fruit come through, the coconut vinegar. And I'm doing like the lazy way just to see what it all tastes like to get it done. But this cherry I did sort of right. You would macerate it in sugar, and then you like squish it all together. You're supposed to let it sit for a couple days, and it could start to ferment and become alcoholic, which isn't bad. The vinegar, the bacteria in the vinegar stops the fermentation process, stops it from becoming alcohol, and turns the fermenting process into vinegar instead of alcohol. And there are like wild vinegar bacteria in the air. That's how come it's so everywhere.
Really?
The things like this you want to make as simple as possible. I mean, that's why people buy ready-made food, is to have it to take away some of all that whole tedious process of it. So it's exciting to think eventually you work yourself up, unless you want to go on gung-ho, but work yourself up to it so that you can just have this around easily. That's what I'm trying to think, like the cheapest, fastest way of making these, so it's not a big deal, and then the fun is in drinking it. We can try one. You want me to make some?
Yeah.
Make a sampler?
Sure.
It's a long process. It should, after you strain it, it should sit about a week in the vinegar anyway, and then you strain the fruit out of it. I should have a better system, like a cheesecloth and the whole scenario, so that I get like every last drop of goodness out of it. So what happens over time is that the flavors marry, which is typical. Like, you add all these elements together, so the apple cider vinegar doesn't actually stand out if you wait long enough. But then like I did read, after about a month, they're supposed to keep pretty well if you seal them. If you have them in those bottles with stoppers, they should last forever in your fridge. I think you should add vinegar if you want. You have all these magic ingredients and you feel quenched, so you can not think about either drinking or being thirsty and just move on.